but it actually helped me to, explore my interest in computer science and, cybersecurity. And that led me to pursue a degree in IT. And for my current role as technical developer, I would say that if I was a teenager and if I told my younger self that what I'm doing right now, my younger self would be really not happy, because what I'm doing is I'm dealing with like business problems and all the boring problems like, okay, hey, can you please automate the receiving system or something like that. Not really fascinating for a kid, but very valuable for the world we live in. So yeah, that's it.
Well, I really have an interesting story, actually. So when I was in my grade 7, I had my grandmother, and then her phone was not working. And when I said, I'll fix it for you, she said, no, girls, they don't know how to fix phones. I'm going to call your brother. So my brother was 3 years younger than me. And I was like, it hit me. Why did not she believe on me, but she believed on my younger brother that he could fix the phone, but not me, And I was like, it pinched me hard. And I really wanted to study technology. You know what? I can prove her or everyone else wrong, or this jinx that's been happening, And before I was actually coming to Australia, so I went to the educational consultancy, and over there I said, okay, I would like to go to Australia. And without even asking me, what would you like to go for? They said, okay, we have vacancy for nursing. We have enrollment for this, straight away they directed me for nursing. And I was like, sorry, no disrespect to any fields, right? I do not have any disrespect to them. But however, it was something that struck on my mind since childhood, and it was bothering me so much that as soon as he said nursing, I was like, no, I'm going for IT. That was my reaction, right? However, starting from that time, and now I've been like fortunate enough to have so many leading lady entrepreneurs and my mentors as well in the IT industries who has been assisting me. And I feel great to actually represent myself, that a woman can also do something in IT. And yeah, I did not expect that I would be a network engineer, but here I am, and I'm proud about it.
Thank you very much, guys. When I was young, when I was very little, I dreamt of being either a cricketer or a painter. I have no idea how I ended up here. Just kidding, guys. I know, just joking. But yeah, it was, back, childhood dreams are always rather wild and crazy. And as I started growing up, I realized it's important to be slightly a bit more realistic. I'm not saying being a painter is unrealistic for me. I think I can still be a painter. But a good thing, during my mid-teens, the IT boom took over the world. And it was more widely known as the dot-com boom. I think, is anyone familiar with the term? Dot-com boom, IT boom, basically the telecom sector and the IT sector really took over. And the cyberspace, the internet, the mystery of the cyberspace, the internet started. That's when my dreams slowly started to change, shift into technology, but wasn't familiar with the term of business analyst even when I started my career about 12 years back. But most account managers of software companies were doing the business analyst job at a smaller scale. But over the years, I've realized this is somewhere I could work on. This is somewhere I could find myself in the IT industry. I did what was required to develop myself, to land my first job as a business analyst about six years back at the World Bank, and never looked back ever since.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing those stories. And the reason I asked that question is because many of you are coming to this profession, this industry, from different backgrounds. Maybe you've had a previous career. Maybe you've worked in previous industries that don't relate to the IT industry. But as you can see, it's never too late to start and to change dreams and to change paths. And you're in a fantastic spot right now to capitalize on where this industry is heading. So with that in mind, I'd love for you to share some insights with us about the trends in your industry, in your profession, in your sector that our students should be aware of as they're about to head into these kinds of professions.
While I cannot share the whole trends because that one is too big, but just one of the part, like for data science. Previously, a lot of engineers, they play around the Power BI or some dashboard or something, but eventually more and more people will move on to data engineering, data science, or data warehouse developer. So that's what requires a lot of people need to familiar with how to modeling data, how to do more programming, real programming language like Python or Java or anywhere, not just the Power BI language, DAX language. So, but a good thing is in the future, because of the technology development, there will be a lot of now low code and no code tools to use. But it's still it's a far from the, it's a far way now. And from now, I think people should learn how to learn the data theory regarding the data engineering, not just to play around like a very simple data. With the technology development, more and more data will come in. Even Darwin is a small city, but there are a lot of potentials. There are a lot of opportunities for the data-related work job. Thank you.
That was actually great insight for data and AI. I would like to speak from more of development perspective. How many of you are aware that the NT government just released the AI governance framework? Is it governance framework or something like that? But they are like all of the governments across Australia are trying to integrate AI into their actually technical capabilities. And as Liam mentioned about the low-code tools, no-code tools, I think they are quite prevalent. Even I'm working on like no-code and low-code technologies. They're proprietary, of course, and learning them is just by experience. But I think the emerging trend is governance in AI and also the GRC, the governance, risk, and compliance in AI. And I think in Darwin, like looking at the Northern Territory as a region, I think there will be projects coming in utilizing the existing solutions. For example, Azure has this, wrapper around ChatGPT, but it's providing privacy, all of the stuff that the government is interested in. So I think we would be seeing much more like projects around it in the government. Of course, there will be not exclusively projects just around that, but that technology will be embedded in the new projects to come. So I think learning about how AI is actually, GRC, governance, risk, compliance, in AI and also in cybersecurity, I think that's a really interesting topic, and I think there will be a huge amount of money flowing in the couple of years.
Right, absolutely echo with what Ars and Liam has to say. On top of that, I would just want to keep it very short and sweet. I would say, it's more about at the moment, from what I can see from my perspective, it's more about the trends with the cloud computing, machine learning, and the automation that's been happening, right? Because we are all evolving, and with the, I would say, emerging trends that ChatGPT has brought, and with the AI, so everything is going to be changed maybe in next 10 to 20 years, right? One thing I was pretty surprised, actually, I was watching a video that was of Dubai. So one person, actually a driver, he was just driving and he was using his phone. Next to it was a cyber truck, and that was a police van. So they just, took the photo and automatically he got the fine. And I was like, how scary and how good it can be, right? At the same time. So yes, I mean, lots of trends are happening, but I think it's more about us as well equipping ourselves. Are we ready for that? To adapt with it, right? So that's the primary concern, I would say.
Thank you very much. I think the most general trend should be for us to adopt should be being multi-skilled. I'm serving as a business analyst, but I am deep into data. I'd like to develop on what Ash said before, and what you said as well earlier about the technologies involved with AI as well as data, and what Digita said about cloud as well. Power BI is quite an essential skill for you to develop along with DAX developments or paginated reports. Like I'm a business analyst, but I've made countless Power BI embedded dashboards for the NT government until now. It's not even been 2 years. So the goal is for us should be to be multi-skilled. Even though you're a business analyst or a data analyst, you must delve deeper into other fields, other spheres. Like for myself, even as a business analyst, I do know a bit of data engineering as well. Data warehouse management is also important. And what Ash said about Azure development and Azure AI. So AI is also creeping into cloud and data, cloud AI through Azure. That's one of the important skills to learn. But staying in the general trend, I would say it is very important to be multi-skilled at this level.
Fabulous. Thank you for, well, you can keep the microphone because we'll come back to you, Saqib, for segueing straight into my next question, which is about skills. So you've obviously talked a lot about the technical skills and the technical platforms that are trending. But like you said, Digita, in 10 to 20 years, it'll all be different. There'll be different platforms, there'll be different systems. So what do you think are the most important transferable skills that are going to endure that our students really need to make sure that they develop?
Well, as I started off keeping it general, that you require to be multi-skilled. So the passion and the curiosity and inquisitiveness to learn new technologies is a very important skill, along with communication. Doesn't matter how interactive or dynamic your dashboard is, if you cannot communicate your ideas well, it will not amount to much. So even for technologies, tech people, it is very important to develop your communication and coordination skills. I mean, if you look at it this way, what is essentially the role of a manager? Not tech manager, any manager in general, what would you say? It's basically very, very efficient communication, coordination, and delegation of people. People management is a skill that you may wish to develop if you want to excel in the tech field as well in the future. If you want to move up to management roles as well, definitely communication, coordination, and definitely the inquisitiveness to learn new skill, where the 10 is heading, being a little curious about when a new technology is on the horizon, just to explore, since to get it installed in your computer, play around with it a bit. Who knows, you might actually get a hook of it, and that might basically catalyze your future development. You never know. Thank you.
I hope you've left some skills for the rest of the panel.
Sorry.
Right. So first question I would like to ask, how many of us are student over here? Like a few. What about graduates? Many, right? Okay. Why I'm bringing this point is because, see, all of us as a graduate, we have one thing in common, and that is a degree, right? Academic degree. We all will have that in common. But what we don't have in common is the skills that we have and the character that we hold, right? So what happens is, let's say, expectation from the employer, I would say, right? When we are a graduate, they do not expect, 5 years of experience, 6 years of experience, or 3 years of experience from student or graduate, right? But what they are more willing to look after is, are we willing to learn? Are we willing to educate ourselves? And just like how earlier Sakiv had said, right? Are we willing to communicate properly with the team? Do we have that working in a team mentality, right? One thing is communication skills is very important. And with the development of, I would say, AI and everything that's been happening, but one thing that cannot be taken is the leadership that we have on ourselves, right? How are we presenting ourselves? And are we actually adapting to the environment? Do we have the problem solving skills? And also, I would say, multitasking, right? Are we able to handle, I'd say, lots of tasks? I know, multiple assignments in one deadline, it's hard, right? These are the things that we have to showcase as well. And these are the skills that we have to keep on learning, right? And along with that, even in free time, if we can do some certification, that's an add-on. That's an add-on. That's why, yeah, I would say more communication skills and then leadership skills. These are some of the things that are highly, soft skills, mainly, I would say.
That's a great answer. How do you develop skills? What worked for me was, apart from my university degree and apart from my regular curriculum, I used to go on Udemy or Coursera and do some extra courses, learn what's in demand, whether it be Azure, whether it be like other technical stuff. But what's really important is that it's not technology that's important. I think it's the ability to learn. I think it's good to be generalist at the start of the career, and you then later on you can specialize in certain area. But I think if you're just starting out a career, it's good to be a generalist. And the rate of how fast you can learn depends on how focused, how sharp your approach is. So I would really recommend you to actually, just narrow down to just one thing at a time and really focus on that thing till you become really good at it, or up to a certain level. And how do you gauge that you have, have certain level of mastery of certain thing, is by building projects. I think building projects is highly underrated. Do build projects, put it out to the real world. IT Code Fair is a really great platform to showcase your projects. GovHack is a really great platform to like build projects in 46 hours. So use these challenges and competitions and events to your advantage. They are meant for students. It's by the students, for the students, and of the students, I would say. And industry is more than generous to help students build skills. So narrow down and be really razor sharp, focused, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you. I think all of the three mates has mentioned a lot of skills: communication skills, creativity skills. From my understanding, there are those three skills we still need. The first one, the first one is team working, because eventually you are working with a team, and a lot of platform you need to use, like GitHub, Jira, or something. Or you maybe involve the Azure team. You guys working together and for a single project. So team working is very important. Try to practice in your university life. And another one is critical thinking. You join a company, maybe the coding the previous colleagues write is wrong. You need to reverse it. And you need to find, is there any other improvement for that coding? And the critical thinking is help you to learn fast. The last one is the coding skills. Try to learn one of the languages, popular languages like Python or Java, or maybe some of the cool tools like a Spark. So it will be really help you in the future. That's all.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So you got all that down? Curiosity, lifelong learning, communication, leadership, problem solving, teamwork, critical thinking, coding? Tick, tick, tick. You've all got them? If you don't, if you feel that there's some things you need to work on, then there's some pretty amazing activities coming up soon that are on our banners behind us here. So I'd like to ask the panelists now if you have participated in the IT Code Fair
Yes.
or GovHack. Can you share with us how that influenced you, what you were able to develop through those activities, and what would you recommend for students thinking about taking part in them?
I participated in the IT Code Fair 2021. I don't have too much time to participate in all of the challenges. I just participate data size. I feel that one is really, really good because it solves a real life problem and it works. You need to find a team member to work with you. So it practice my team working skills and practice my coding as well. And from the event, I can see other people also did an amazing job as well, and learned a lot from them as well. So it's really important for me.
Well, what I'm going to say is a bit of an it's not really an exaggeration, but it may sound dramatic. But IT Code Fair did literally change my career trajectory. I met my first boss there. And yeah, I've been involved with IT Code Fair, GoHack. Actually, when I participated in IT Code Fair in the first year, I did not win, but I was able to pitch my project to a person who later gave me an interview, and then I got a job. And also that IT Code Fair is a great place to like look around to other projects and also getting inspired this project and okay, what you can do next year. And also with GovHack, I participated in GovHack last year, and our challenge was proposed, I think, by Carla about how you can better communicate the scientific research that is happening in the NT to the community. And we actually created a prototype and we won. So it was quite fun experience. And what really was fun was working in a team and the dedication that you see like among your team members, that actually motivated us to work even like in a much more like structured and even harder. So the most fun part was working in a team and yeah, do involve like I really enjoyed like in getting involved with IT Code Fair and GoHack, and I'd really encourage you to get involved in as well.
Just like Liam, I participated on IT Code Fair. It was in 2021, and I participated on Cybersecurity Challenge, Capture the Flag. And me and my friends actually we won that competition. But just like Ars was mentioning, it was more about a teamwork because one of us we were focusing on one task, and I was focusing on the second one, right? But it was really fun to learn together and getting to learn from others as well. And IT Code Fair, it's not just about just one challenge. There are like multiple of challenges. It's an opportunity that is the breeze actually in between the students and industry experts, right? And taking that opportunity to learn, that was a challenge for me as well. I wanted to introduce to everyone. I wanted to, meet and greet everyone, get myself recognized, and what can I learn from the other person, from their journey. That was exciting part for me because I had always heard from my seniors or whoever had already graduated, they always used to mention IT Code Fair is something you should never miss. And that struck on my mind. I was like, okay, how is it going to be like? And definitely, I would say it's a must. I would participating. I would highly recommend because it's not just about winning, but what we get to learn on that process is what actually determines and defines, our participations. And if I have to say one thing, I'm really appreciative about CDU Career Center because they have been just, going beyond from what they can do. And I do remember there was the mock interview as well, right? And that was the first time when I actually went and gave the interview for the first time. Even though I did not get the job, but I got messages from some of the employers. And because I was studying my second semester, second semester that time. And so some of the employers, they reached out to me and they said that, okay, these are some of the skills that you have to look on, but we really would like to have you on board. But see, working at NEC was my dream. And I actually got to meet Damien Charles, and, getting an opportunity to have a chat with him on the IT Code Fair by itself, it actually changed my trajectory as well, just like Urs mentioned, because it's all about, that initiation, 5 seconds of courage and saying hello, getting out of comfort zone. So yeah, I would say that has been a great opportunity for me.
Thank you. I got my first job from being at IT Code Fair during my first year of university. I think that itself should answer the question. But
We
yeah,
can't promise that for everyone.
No,
Just
no,
disclaimer there.
now let me expand on that. Yeah, I can't possibly stop there. But yes, what CDU does with the IT Code Fair, it's amazing. IT Code Fair, GovHack, I think these are literally the best, most amazing platforms for you to express yourself. I mean, if I expand on my first statement, I was not even in the speed dating panel, and I still could land one. So this is, you get a massive amount of exposure just sharing the same room with industries from all over NT. So that you get massive exposure. That is a great place for you to, just as Digita was saying. I think they have mentioned a lot about how you can leverage IT Code Fair and GovHack. So yeah, just get out there, express yourself, what you do, and you never know, you can actually pick up your first job from there. And big shout out to Carolyn Tasfia and the entire Career Center team. I've actually graduated from one of the top universities in the UK. I've done my bachelor's from there. But I've not seen another university career center that work as hard as they do, and that are as impactful to the students as they are. So big thank you to you guys.
Aw,
For real.
thanks. I didn't get him to say that. That wasn't planted, I promise. Thank you so much for sharing those experiences of IT Code Fair and GovHack. And GovHack is coming up this weekend. So if you don't have any other plans, then it's really a great initiative to be part of. And I'd really encourage you all to get involved. And whether it be IT Code Fair or GovHack or volunteering or some other thing that you do outside the classroom, those things are so important and so relevant on your resume, and they help you stand out from the crowd. So they really should be things that you should think about and pursue, because in this day and age, with this many beautiful IT graduates, the degree alone is not enough. So please do think about some of these other activities. Now, going back to something you said, Digita, about networking. So pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, going and having those conversations, introducing yourself, even 5 minutes, talking to somebody, creating that first impression. How valuable is that, do you think, in this industry, in Darwin? This is a question for all of you, so Sukabi, you can start. But yeah, the importance of networking and any tips or advice that you have for students before we head out and you all get to do some networking.
It's extremely important that you know how to network well, first of all. Make the most of all these networking events, be there. What I did was I think I'll tell you to do the same. Develop a 3-minute skit on yourself, very quickly telling who you are, basically try to get their attention within the first 30 or 40 seconds. When you're expressing yourself, just the first 30 or 40 seconds, try to make a skit, small, a few lines of basically what you do, what you can do, and what's remarkable about you. So it's not only skills that employers look for, likability is also important. It's not necessarily that literally the most skilled person will get hired. Likability plays a part in that as well. So networking with an industry professional that's just in a very busy room, because all these networking events, these rooms would be quite busy, and they would be talking to 20, 30, 40, 50 people, 50 potential graduates or people who have already graduated. Some may have years of skills ahead of you, but you know that you need to find out your niche as well. And yeah, develop this script and try to grab the attention of the industry professional that you're speaking to within the first 30, 40 seconds. Make sure within 3 to 4 minutes of talking to the person, you've been able to fully express yourself. This is something I've done. I've also done this. I've actually carried a QR code containing my CV. I don't suggest you do that. If you want, you can. That way you can easily set the tone for a second engagement with the same person if you wish to. Like look for an opportunity where you can tell more about yourself. Not exactly an interview, but like try to get to the next stage somehow. Like this is if you ask me to tell me quickly how to make most of these events, try to definitely before the actual events, you need to plan ahead. You need to know who you're going to approach. You might not want to approach literally all the industries. They might not have the same interests that you do. You need to list down, you need to shortlist, you need to find out, figure out what you're going to tell them when you reach out your arms to say hello. It needs to be prepared. I mean, try to make it look natural, okay? Make sure it doesn't look fake, but yeah, but be prepared. Be prepared. Anyhow, like, yeah, if you can get to the next level, which is very difficult actually. But yeah, try to definitely get them interested in you if possible. So this likability as well as skills, both are important.
Great. I will not take much time. I would completely echo what he has said. And I would say, just the icebreaker can be a smile, right? Who would not want to talk with the person who is smiling, right? If we are strangers as well, if we smile and say, hello, I'm Digita, nice to meet you. What's your name? It can be as simple as that. I'm just giving a demo. However, I would say, just like earlier, we have been discussing about it, about, networking opportunities. We all are technical and technological students, right? We are students of IT, so we understand how it is important for computers to communicate. Like that, it's important for human to communicate as well. That can only happen when we are talking with the other person. See, my mistake, I would say, firstly, what I used to do was, I used to get shy and stay on the side, just be comfortable with my friends. And I would say, that's okay. Next time, maybe I'll talk to the other person. Okay. That was me being me. Okay. However, I would not recommend that. It's just a matter of 3 seconds of courage. Okay. The other person is not an animal, like they are social animal, but they're not going to bite you. They're not going to harm you. So it's okay. It's completely okay. Right. And also, when we are connecting with them, maybe getting connected on the social platforms such as LinkedIn, right? Connecting on LinkedIn, and we can send a follow-up message. I got a chance to meet you over here, and it was really nice to meet you. I hope you remember. Or if you have something about him, what he had mentioned, or her, what they might have mentioned, and highlighting that. I really like the point what you had shared over here, or I really like the conversation that we had over here. And that will actually remind them, oh, okay, I remember the face now, because that situation will be remembered on his mind as well, right? So yes, networking is very important, and especially Darwin being a, I would say, small area, right? We get to meet everyone so frequently, and it's a blessing because it feels like a family. I get to see Dr. Varani there and Professor. I've already graduated. I don't get to see him often, but it is because of these events that I get to meet him. Or I've got Lauren as well, Damien Charles. I see him on office, but it's different feeling when I get to meet him outside. Or Tasvia, Carolyn, all of us. So yeah, networking opportunities are awesome, but if we grab onto it. So yeah, let's just go and smile and talk. That's it.
Yeah, totally agree with what Sakib and Dikita said. But I think networking really works well if you have something to bring on the table. If you have something to show, like a project or a certain skill that the employer is looking for or a person might be interested in, then it really works well. But one point that I would like to add is, let's say it's IT Code Fair. You just met Damien and he's really interested in your skills. You got all that fancy networking stuff, cybersecurity stuff on your resume. You have built really great projects. But still, Damien is meeting like 50 people every day. How is going to remember you? So I think after networking, just search his email and just send him an email after the event or maybe after a couple of days. Say that, hey, Damien, thank you for it. Was really great meeting you. I'm Ursh, and just briefly explain yourself, like briefly like tell what you're good at. And it's like an elevated pitch, like just pitching yourself in like 2 minutes. Just search on what elevated pitch is. The Y Combinator, one of the startup accelerator in the US, provides really good resources for startups, but the same principles can be applied for finding a job as well. So yeah, highly encourage you to do that. But sorry. Please don't spam Damien after this.
To be honest, I'm not good at the networking, but I think I'm not the only one. But I do believe the networking is really, really important. I meet Digital in IT Code Fair. I meet Ash twice in IT Code Fair as well. I meet Dami in 2021 September. We made a scholarship ceremony, and he gave me a job. Not job, just give me a HR email. But it could be a potential job in the future. So I do believe networking is very important. But try to build your own network. You can ask your lecturer, ask your friends, build your network around you. Share some good news, share some projects, ideas in the LinkedIn or any other social media as well. Maybe in the GitHub. I think that one is also a good platform. So don't forget we have the physical network, but we also have the cloud network as well. So don't forget that one.
And I'd love to follow on from you, Liam. For those of you in the room who feel maybe I'm not the best networker, maybe I'm a bit shy, maybe I don't like talking to strangers and people I don't know, ask questions. You don't have to talk very much in networking. Ask questions. People love to talk about themselves when you ask them questions, when you show you're curious, when you show you're really interested in them. They'll talk about themselves. So have lots of questions prepared for your networking. So we are getting close to time, so I'm going to ask my final question and then throw it open to the audience. If you had one piece of advice, or maybe you think about your pathway that you followed so far, if there was one thing that you could do differently, what would that be?
For me, I will fully enjoy the university life, enjoy the Darwin environment and the beautiful city, and keep learning. That's all.
Totally concur to what Liam just said. I actually did not live my uni life at all, to be honest. Like for the first 2 years, I'm doing bachelor's, by the way. I'm in my final semester right now, and for the first 2 years, I was all like working on my skills, working in CDU, skills development, assignments. I did not get a chance to live a life. So if I had to do all over again, I would actually go out to most like social events, and also I would learn more about cloud in my second year.
Right. What am I going to share? I think it's, I don't feel like I had to change anything because I was just working on progress, but I definitely miss my uni life. It's just so different. You might be feeling this time, when will this uni be over, and we'll get over it. Trust me, the real struggle begins then. Okay. So enjoy this time to the fullest. And one thing I would highly encourage is, see, we don't get all this opportunity when we graduate, and you might not have, the person who can help us. Very fortunate people can have that opportunity. However, CDU Career Center actually, they always, promotes us or, inspires us to say, how is your resume? How is your cover letter? There are lots of facilities that are available, but we don't go and check. I did not do that until my second semester, last end of the second semester. But however, there were so many of my friends who were not even aware about it. So yeah, I mean, CDU has so many things to offer, and we really have to grab onto that as well. And like Arshad, going and attending on the social events as well, enjoying the life along with what we are doing. I think that's what it is, work-life balance, right? Not completely working for 20, 26, 28 hours and even more, some people do. However, work-life balance and doing something that we are passionate about. Maybe watching sunset, can be going and having ice cream, right? I love, I'm a sweet tooth person, going for ice cream, and that's something I would do, when if I would go back. But one thing I would like to end on, I always say this, but I always believe on this as well. Believe on yourself and you can achieve it. Do not doubt about what you can do or not. If you have belief on yourself, you can definitely do it. How do you follow that one?
Exactly. Right. Yeah, I cannot agree anymore with Ash, William, and Digita said. Really, enjoy your university life. Y'all look so serious. Relax a little. So yeah, while you're preparing yourself, do work on preparing yourself for what's coming ahead. But you need to find ways to nourish and feed your soul as well. So definitely, when you're at the university, yes, I do regret not not getting into everything sort of that happens in the university the whole year round. There's a lot going on around the university. I think you might have noticed. We all have that calendar, but we all lose it at the right time. I'll forget to check it, and then like weeks later, oh, I was meant to go to this event. So yeah, like it's good. It's good to keep developing yourself for the future as well. But yeah, give yourself that time, because that in turn will recharge you to take life harder. So definitely do that and get out there and find ways to volunteer more. And if you can, use the experience in your CV, because work is work. In your CV, the work you mentioned, there's no rule that it needs to be paid work. So get involved, get active, get involved, get out there, do more, and yeah, enjoy your life and believe in yourself, as Digita said. Right.
Amazing. I mean, I feel motivated. I hope all the rest of you feel motivated. I hope you also feel inquisitive. So I hope there's some questions that are going to come from the audience. If you do have a question, please put up your hand. You don't touch it.
Oh, sorry about that. Hi, my name is Nayan Marjan, and I'm currently doing my last semester in Master of Data Science. So my questions to the panel is like, you guys landed the first job, but my question is, how many tries you did and how many rejects you got? And how do you deal with the rejection and how do you build up your next applications? That's my question.
If I've heard that right, like how many interviews I sat for and how many times I got rejected and how did I pick myself up after that? Well, a rejection, you got to start treating rejections a bit differently. Just because you did not get the job after the interview does not mean that you're not up to par. Maybe your skills are not perfectly aligned with what's required with the role. It only means a rejection after an interview only means that the company thinks collaboratively that you both are not the best fit. That's all. That's all. You're just not the best fit. So do not get discouraged with the rejection. This may not directly reflect on your skill, may or may not. So do not take it too hard on yourself. The rejection just goes to say that you guys are not the best fit. That's all. So you can follow up with an email to that rejection email. What could I have done better? And the company may be kind enough to give you a response. This is what we are looking for, and maybe come up with something like, yeah, we didn't find each other as a best fit. That's all. Just if you look at it this way, it's not too bad, is it? Because an interview is not an exam. So it's not like a pass or a fail. It's just that your potential employer and you sitting across the table to each other, trying to figure out whether you're a good fit or not. That's all. That should be the approach to handle rejections and to move on to the next one. If you look at it that way, it shouldn't be a big problem. I hope I've answered that.
If you seek feedback, the feedback might be, you did great and you were number 2. How good would you feel then? Okay, I didn't get the job, but geez, I was close. So always seek that feedback.
I just want to add one thing actually, that is develop a little thick skin actually. I have a folder of rejections in my Gmail, and the last time I checked it, it has more than 50 rejections so far in 1 year. So it's just a numbers game actually, just developing skills, just work on your skills and network. The right opportunity will come. You just have to be with the right skills, right opportunity, right time at the right place. And yeah, it's just the alignment. And once the alignment happens, you will get it. But it's just a numbers game.
Share something. Yeah, I mean, I would agree that, having rejection is okay. It's absolutely okay. And we should normalize that as well. Because if we don't get rejected, we will not know that what we have to progress on, right? That will be something, we cannot chase to be perfect, but what we can always focus on is progression, right? And we have to trust the process, and doing the things that it requires, whatever the skill set is required and what this job requirement is. If we are aligning to that, our chances are very high. However, maybe there is someone who has a better, I'll say, better fit, right? But it's okay. It's okay. It's completely okay. But one thing I would say is I always used to focus on 5P. Okay, that is prior preparation prevents poor performance. If we are prepared ahead, then our chances of getting rejected will be very less. So yes, always doing the things that maybe 5% or 10% of other employees, whoever are going, potential, right? They might be going through what they do not have or what they might not have. What shall I focus on? Going and thinking outside the box. That will also help.
There's another question. I'll just go behind you, Nugget, and then I'll come back to you. Just try not to press that button on the side.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anis, and I'm not the intruder, but I don't belong to CDU. I'm studying at CIM. So my question is like, I'm great with people, okay? I can talk to whoever, whenever, anytime, any topic. But the thing is like, when I get to know, okay, my interview is coming, so I'm great at that as well, but I feel a bit nervous before I enter that room, like very, very nervous. So is there any mantra, any technique that you do to, reduce, like calm yourself down? So is there anything that you can help you with?
That's an amazing question. And I think 95% of us face that as well, right? It's normal. So I would say for me, what has helped is doing self-talk, that is manifesting. I'll tell you a story, okay? You might find it funny, but it's not, okay? It's my real story and I can still send you the photo if you guys don't believe. So basically, before even I was starting to work at NEC, you know what I used to write? I always used to write, I work at NEC, I'm getting good paid. I work at NEC, I'm getting good paid. Trust me. And I was in my second semester that time, right? I did not believe, when I got a call, I was like, is this really happening? That was my excitement. And I just went back and I was like looking at the paper and this is real because manifestation really work. Whatever we think we attract. And next is practicing in front of the mirror. looking into the eyes, and what are we saying to ourselves? Are we believing that, you know what, I'm gonna just nail this interview, I'm just gonna go, I have what it takes and I'm gonna get it done? Or are we questioning, you know what, there might be a better fit, maybe next time, not me, you know, that might happen. But I would say staying calm and talking to yourself, you know, practicing in front of the mirror, that's okay. Maybe asking someone to just to do the interview practice. You can even call me, you know, and we are connected. And of course, you know, I can help you for that as well if needed. But I think that's the mantra that I used. Anything?
Career Center has really good resources if you want to like prepare for the interview. Oh, but you're not from CDU.
I'm sure your institution also has some really good resources.
Yeah, Liz will actually grill you really hard, like harder than the actual interview.
Not for this one, but I want to answer the first question from that student. Rejection is doesn't matter. You just applied, but be careful when you apply the job. Apply the right job, which is suited for you. Don't apply those jobs is not suited for you. For example, if you want to be a like a dashboard developer, you just apply the dashboard developer. You don't need to apply for the software developer or any some network engineers. Just apply the areas you are interested in and you are good at. And if you don't know which area you are choosing, just ask us or ask CDU Career Center. We get together, we can find a job.
I guess it was almost the same question, but if I'm going to apply for a job and I found myself having like the required skills, but for many for all the vacant positions, like I found myself in several positions, okay, in the same organization, okay. So do you think it's a good idea to apply for all the vacant positions at once, or it might be like confusing for the employer?
I think it depends on the company that you're working for. But I would say that if the hiring manager is the same person, or the like, even if the hiring managers are different people, but if they are like talking to each other, and if you're applying for the data role and you're also applying for a networking role, that doesn't mean like that doesn't sound like you are really passionate about development or you're really passionate about data or networking. That sounds like you are just applying for because you want to get a job. So I think when you're applying, it really matters that you want that job. Just as Digita said, she really values NEC, right? So just apply to a job that you are most like apply to the role that you're most passionate about. I think that will be helpful. But this is my opinion. It might like others' opinion might be different.
Any other questions from the audience before we break into networking? Ooh, mhm.
Hello. Oh yeah. Hi, I'm Prozul. I'm recently graduated from Master of Data Science. I have applied on few selected job related to data, and like I'm not getting selected or not being rejected. I'm just being ignored. Like I feel so bad. If it will be okay if I get rejected, but like being ignored or not getting feedback is totally like bad. And I like to do like unpaid job or like volunteer or internship without getting paid. I'm like available for that job also. I try to say my message like to the employer, say I can work, but still they won't provide me the feedback or they won't respond to my email. How I can mm, how I can get the job like on internship or like a good job like with entry level job. Is there any advice regarding that?
I think that's a classic question. From what I think is that the hiring manager is actually bombarded with emails. So if you're not getting like, like you're not getting anything from the response from the hiring manager, it's not because the hiring manager is a bad person or he's not interested in like hiring you. It's just because that guy is he's just bombarded. So that's where the power of networking comes into the picture. So let's say if you're just on a networking event, you may meet your hiring manager. If you may meet someone who from that company who might be friends with hiring manager, or he's just who knows that person. So that's where the real human connections come into the play. Like you're actually interacting with people and not just emails. Emails are pretty bland, to be honest. Like, no one really has, no one can really deeply connect via email. So if you're not getting a response, I would highly encourage go to more networking events, meet real people, build meaningful connections, and this may help.
Absolutely echo with what Urs has to say. Just one add-on is if we are already doing, let's say, if we are already attending lots of networking events, I would highly encourage to add a photo on the resume because in Darwin, we get to see every time, we bump into each other and we feel very familiar, which will be a plus. Yeah.
And that segues beautifully into what we need to move into next, which is our networking. So great opportunity to create those meaningful connections. But before we do run outside, I'd like to invite Damien Charles just to say a few words to close today's event.
Thank you. Oh, is that on? Can you hear me? Is that on? Oh, yeah, it is. I can hear myself now. Thank you, everyone. Look, first thing, really great panel, some really interesting comments there. Some things, I don't necessarily agree with everything they said. And I think that'll be interesting when you talk to me later. Or we have, before Code Fair, we do have an industry, an event to help students prepare for Code Fair as well, and for the speed dating. Sometimes I think people have skills, but they don't know necessarily what the skills are that got them employed. And so it's quite interesting listening to everyone here, knowing some of them and their journeys and listening to what they think got them employed. So importantly, I think from an industry perspective, I was looking at the handbook and I think all of you got this handbook, right? It's out in the front there. The great thing about this is this handbook is wrong. And so you're coming into an industry and it's saying what the average salaries are. And they are not the average salaries, right, for our industry. They are much lower than what they should be. So you're coming into a fantastic industry with a high rate of salary and a high rate of movement. I literally read here, would I enjoy the work? And one of the sad faces, the negatives is difficulty getting a raise. Like at the moment within our industry, no one has a difficulty getting a raise as they develop and get better and getting a new role and things like that. So don't listen to this. That's very negative, okay? Listen to the good things about our industry. I think one of the most important things is there's really two skill sets you need to think about, two types of skill sets. The first one, your graduates, and this is what's most important. How do you get your first job? And what we heard a lot about when we're talking, the panel was talking about different skills that you need. They're the types of skills that you need to progress your career after you've got your first job, okay? And so what really need to work through is what is it that's going to help you get that first job? We touched on it a little bit, I think, when we went through some of the stuff, and communication is certainly one of the ways, and networking and all of those. You send me 50 emails, I'm not reading one of them. Okay, I can tell you now. For the person that was talking before, unfortunately, you're being rejected. You're actually being not shortlisted, and they're not responding to you because you haven't made the shortlist. That's how businesses work. There are so many people applying for jobs at the moment. They will shortlist to who they want to interview, and that's the people they focus on. And often other people get no response at all. So please, that is what's happening. You ring them, you send them any other emails, you're going to get the same result. So what you have to do, and as each of you have to do, is what is going to differentiate you in your CV, in your connections. What you really want to be is that when you apply for a job or when a job is advertised, you want someone in that business saying, watch out for this person if they apply. I want to know how they go in their interview. And when that happens, you've already got your in. And how does that happen? You network, you prepare yourself, you get yourself noticed through whatever it is, okay? And that's how you do that. And many of the things we talked about and the panel talked about here clearly helped them get where they are today. And they're well on their track. But I don't think they quite nailed it as to how you can get that first job, whatever that job is in IT. The code fair, which is coming up, is one of the most important ways for you to connect with the industry. Okay, because when you network, and we'll go out here and we'll talk and people will talk to me, I go to pretty much nearly every student event that we do with IT. I will talk to so many students. I have talked to so many students over the years. I don't remember everyone's names. I'm going to tell you that straight away. I have to really notice you for me to remember your name. And that's part of my weakness. I'm terrible with names, great with faces. Okay, but that's what you have to do. How are you going to get noticed by people like me that are going to employ you? And I go to many events and you'll see there's not many other people from industry here today. So straight up, one of the other disadvantages you have is the smaller industry actually actively engaging at various times. But that event, the Code Fair, is the single most important event on the calendar for CDU IT students to connect with IT business people and government, okay? They have to come. They will come to that event. They sponsor that event. Government comes to the event. The minister comes to the event. Industry will go to the event as well, okay? Which means they will be there. Now, when you talk to me out the door here, you will, as some of the people talked about, you might have a little bit of time to attract my attention and for me to notice you later on. But you won't have a lot, okay? Because there's a lot of people and I'll have to remember it. But when you go to Code Fair, people will come to the work that you've done. They will focus on you and what you have achieved over the year. You will talk to them and they will just listen to you about the work, not even necessarily about yourself. You may grab their interest with what you've achieved or how you speak and all of these type of things. No other opportunity exists. Okay, if you are not on board with Code Fair and investing the time in it, you're kidding yourselves about getting a job in IT in the Northern Territory. Simple as that, okay? But I think what we have in CDU is exactly this, and it is a fantastic event and a fantastic opportunity. Degita, ask her. She didn't tell you exactly how she got a job because I don't think she knows necessarily. But she is a fantastic communicator. She's a fantastic presenter. She's able to portray herself quite well. She connects well and networks well. She invests the time in volunteering and she's very capable and is easy to notice. So that's how she got her job, with all of those different qualities, okay? You could be the next Degita or any of our panel members here today. Thank you very much. Good luck with Code Fair.
Thank you so much, Damien, and keep that applause going. Keep that applause going for our panelists. Thank you so much, Sophia, Degita, Ash and Liam. So it is now time to head outside and network. So a couple of little tips: be brave, ask questions, listen attentively, share your story. That is what networking is about. So enjoy. I should probably mention. So we will have our panelists and ACS and Damien from NEC. We also have representatives from Google Developer Group, City of Darwin, NT Gov, Catholic Education NT, Tangier Council, and True Blue IT Services. So some amazing people to go and talk with. So all the best. Enjoy. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
You first, and we just get one with